What's up, guys? This is Merry Dragoon coming to you live from my own little studio here at my home, and I want to invite all of you to set up your own stream and join the streaming community. And I want to talk about, or this is a start of, a video series showing you how to set up your own stream at home so you can have something like I see over here, and I'll show you how to make all of your screens in OBS, some overlays, how to use other software programs in order to do some fancy things. But before we get to all of that, you guys are going to need some hardware. So let's talk about the basic hardware that you need in order to make your stream look like what you see over here. So first, let's take a look at my home studio. So this is my home studio. You can see here I've got a dual monitor setup. I have some microphones set up. I have a camera. We have a light set up there. And all of these sources, all these things here are sourced into OBS to provide sound and audio, etc. And you're going to need these things in order to get your own stream up and running. So first of all, we're going to talk about the camera. I'm using a Logitech 920. It's a basic webcam. They can be had on eBay between $30 and $50, depending on if you can find a good deal on a used one or not. They can be purchased for around $89 brand new, and there'll be a link in the description below if you just want to grab the camera that I'm using to make things easier on you, so you don't have to figure out how to set your own camera up and go through all of its settings. You can just do exactly what I'm doing. Next, we're going to talk about the microphone. Audio is super important to your stream. It's probably one of the most important things. I am not an audio guru. I have watched some audio gurus on the internet, and I've followed their advice and done what I could do with the things that I have. And what I have is this AKG P220 microphone. It's a condenser microphone. I think it picks up very nicely. It doesn't get a lot of echo from the room I'm in, and it's also directional, meaning that if there's something making noise back here, you don't really hear it. It only likes to pick up the noise in the front of the microphone, which is pretty nice because I have kids and dogs who like to run back and forth sometimes, and it mitigates a lot of that background noise that you're gonna get from that. It also comes with a really cool looking shock mount. That looks awesome, doesn't it? And a box to keep it all in. Lastly, you're going to need an interface or some way to plug this microphone into your computer. And the one that I'm using is the Avid Fast Track Solo. It has 2 inputs on it, and it has 1 output. So you could technically have 2 microphones hooked into this thing, and then an output for listening to yourself, so you can see if you're too loud or not loud enough, etc. And then it also has dials on it that you can turn the volumes up and down, etc. It's very basic. That's my point I want to get to. There are a lot of other options out there. You can get all kinds of soundboards and mixing boards, etc., with like 25 different knobs on them. And if you're not an audio expert or an audio pro, those things, first of all, they can be pricey and they can be kind of complicated to set up. And the Avid Pro is kind of one of those things you just plug your microphone into it, and you're off to the races with nothing fancy, just a volume button to turn your mic up and down. Now, the goal here is to get you guys so that you can get your own stream set up, and you can have something that looks very similar to what I have here. So you can see this is my setup. And with my setup, I'm using OBS Studios, and OBS Studios is going to take these 3 sources and combine them into this one stream source that you see here. I use some transition screens, etc., in my OBS Studio software, and I'll teach you guys how to set all that up. So the 3 softwares that I use, and we will talk about these in another video, but I'm just going to drop a little information for you now, is OBS Studios. We use Filmora 9, I believe, or it might be 8. I'll have to check and see which one I'm using. And then I like to use GIMP, which is a cheap version of Adobe Photoshop, I guess is the best way to describe it, to edit some pictures and images so that I can use them in OBS Studios. And I'll teach you guys how to use all that software together to get your stream looking like what you see over here. All right, thanks for joining me. Look forward to seeing you on my next video in the video series on how to set up your own streams. And if you use this video to set your stream up, please put a link to it in the box below. Shamelessly promote yourself. I want to see what you guys are up to. I want to watch you playing some games, because I think the more of us that get together and build this community, the better things are going to be overall. And it's always fun to see how everyone else is thinking about how cards interact with each other. People can come up with combos that you yourself would never have seen before. All right, guys, until next time, happy adventuring, and I'll catch you on my next video. Bye-bye.